actually giving away an Usyk signed glove. Jump onto the Boxing King Media Instagram page. You'll see a post with the thumbnail of Johnny Nelson and Dominic Ingle pinned to the top. Just click on that post, the instructions on how to get yourself in the draw are on there. There's only about 100 people in the draw at the minute, so you got a good chance of winning. Boxing King Media, powered by BYD and the Riyadh season. Mr. Michael Buffer, legendary Michael Buffer. Great to see you back in London. I've met you all over the world, but nowhere quite picturesque as this Guildhall.
No, this place, the Guild, it's fantastic. It's got so much history behind it, and you look at the work the artisans had to do and the artwork and everything. It's quite an amazing venue. Very exciting.
You've been all around the world. You've seen so many things in boxing. Like, what are you kind of experiencing being here? Have you been to? Obviously, you've had big fight nights in England before, but what does this feel like?
I think what's really exciting about this fight, it's two of the best heavyweights in the world fighting each other. Of the top 4 fighters, 3 of them are British right now, and 2 of them are going to fight Saturday night, and they're the 2 biggest punchers. That's pretty exciting. It's somebody's not going to. It's not going to be a decision, in my opinion, and many others. I don't see it going that way.
You know, when you see, like, you've obviously seen a lot in boxing, you've experienced a lot. The impact of the Riyadh season and Turkey Al Sheikh, you must have thought at some point you've seen everything, but now you've seen his impact of Riyadh season. How much do you think that's changed boxing?
What's really exciting about what Riyadh season and His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh, what he has done is not just bring fighters together. He had to bring the promoters together to accomplish that. And we had a fight for the undisputed heavyweight title. In 1 month, we're going to have a fight for the undisputed light heavyweight title. We've got some great fights coming up in November and December, again, for the rematch between Fury and Usyk. So fights that the fans want to see are being made. You might have to travel to go see them, but it's always available on pay-per-view or closed circuit TV.
When you're watching as a fan, Michael, do you still get excited, and do you sit there and like throw the shots with the fighters, and does this still get you excited?
Yeah, totally. The bottom line is, I got into this because I was a fan, and I wanted to be a part of it, and just thought that this way I don't have to pay for a ticket. And the next thing I knew, I was doing it for a full-time job over 40 years now. So, I'm a fan. I love it. I get excited. Sometimes it's so exciting, like, to have a venue like Wembley. It's so overwhelming. I can't wait to do the introductions, get out of the ring and watch the fight.
I bet you can't. I've got to ask you, because I always like to tap into your knowledge and your experience in boxing. The first couple of shows you did starting back 40 years ago, I'm just curious to know your treatment, as in when you walked to the venue, you must have had, I don't know if you had your own room. Do you remember what it was like compared to now? You have makeup artists, you've got your own dressing room, all that kind of stuff.
I tell you what I remember is I was nervous as hell. I was absolutely dreadful. And luckily I made a few corrections and adjusted a few things. And about 6 months later, I got another chance and made the most of it.
And you must have made a lot of friends in boxing, as in the boxers. Name me a couple that you've got really close to over the years.
Yeah, through the years, of course, I did all the Klitschko fights for 11, 12 years, between the 2 of them. Title fights all over the world, mostly in Europe, of course. And, George Foreman and I stay in touch. Of course, I was friends with Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier until they passed. And it's always a treat for me to have just a young guy come up and say, Mr. Buffer, I hope someday I can introduce you. To me, that's like the greatest compliment. So, you got guys at the top and guys that are starting out, and it's a sport that I love.
Nothing beats speaking to yourself, especially the experience you've got. You mentioned Muhammad Ali there. I've got to ask you, could you share any moment with him or any conversation? Because there's so many stories about Muhammad.
Yeah, one of my favorite stories is, in the later years of his life, his voice was very, very, very dim. And so I had to put my ear right up to his mouth to hear what he had to say. And usually when I would see him, I would say, I had to talk right into his ear. I'd say, Champ, assalamu alaikum, so good to see you, and everything. and he would go like this, and he'd whisper into my ear, he'd say, "I'm still prettier than you." He was such a sweet guy. I loved him.
Love that, Mr. Buffer. You've kind of said the fight's not going to go at the distance, so I'm not going to ask you for a detailed breakdown. Won't put you in that position. We're actually giving away an Usyk signed glove. Jump onto the Boxing King Media Instagram page. You'll see a post with the thumbnail of Johnny Nelson and Dominic Ingle pinned to the top. Just click on that post, the instructions on how to get yourself in the draw are on there. There's only about 100 people in the draw at the minute, so you got a good chance.